Hello, good morning children. How are you all? Today in this video I am going to explain class 8 geography 3rd chapter mineral and power resources. So already about the conventional types of resources, I have explained in the previous video how we are using firewood, coal, natural gas and petroleum, their uses and in which places they are available, everything you have learned. Now in this video you are going to learn about hydel power. That means using the water, how we can produce water energy you are going to learn. Hydel power. Rainwater or river water stored in dams is made to fall from heights. The falling water flows through pipes inside the dam over turbine blades placed at the bottom of the dam. So, see, this is the dam. This is the water reservoir. Okay, in this water reservoir, what they will do? This water, in the reservoir, whatever the water, this water is supplied to the turbines. So, this fast flow of water, what it will do? It makes the turbine to move. So, these blades will move here. These blades will move and they will move the generator. The generator here, what the generator will do? The moving blades then turn the generator to produce electricity. They will turn these turbines, these blades, they will move and turn the generator. This is called hydroelectricity. Rainwater or river water stored in dams, that is water reservoir, is made to fall from heights, from high distance, high falls. The water will be flowed from heights. The falling water flows through pipes. From these pipes, the water flows inside the dam. This is all dam. Inside the dam over turbine blades. So, when the water flows through faster, these turbines here, the blades will move in this place. Blades will move. Blades at the bottom of the dam. The moving blades, these blades, then turn the generator. So, these blades, whatever the blades are there, they will move and they will turn the generator. So, here what the generator will do? It will produce electricity. Turn the generator to produce electricity. This is called, in this way, preparing electricity is called hydroelectricity. This type of electricity is called hydroelectricity. The main thing is water will be flow from the heights and the turbines will move. These turbines, they will make the generator to move and the generator will produce electricity. So, this generator here, they will collect to these transformers. From these, they will supply to houses or industrial purpose. So, this is called hydroelectricity. The water discharged after the generation of electricity. So, this water, after making the turbines move, the water, it will go to irrigation, canals. It will go to irrigation. This water is used for irrigation purpose. 1/4 of the world's electricity is produced by hydel power. So, through this hydel power only, 1/4 of the world's electricity is produced from this hydel power only. The leading producers of hydel power in the world are Paraguay, Norway, Brazil and China. Okay, so these are the countries who leading producers of hydel power. What are they? Paraguay, Norway, Brazil and China. Okay. This is the, suppose I have drawn, children, don't make fun of this. This is the hydel power station model, picture. They have given in the textbook to you. Okay, hydel power station. See, this is water reservoir. Okay, water reservoir. From water reservoir, it will goes to turbines and these turbines will move here. Turbines will move the generator and generator will produce electricity. This is the way of forming hydroelectricity. Okay, next. Leading producers of hydel power, Paraguay, Norway, Brazil and China. Okay. Some important hydel power stations in India are Bhakranangal, Gandhi Sagar, Nagarjun Sagar and Damodar Valley project. So, in India, we are also producing hydel power. That means on the rivers. On which rivers? Bhakranangal project. Okay, Bhakranangal. These are the places they have given, not the rivers. Bhakranangal, hydel power station, Gandhi Sagar, Nagarjun Sagar. In our India, AP, this Nagarjun Sagar and Damodar Valley projects. So, this is about hydel power. Next, non-conventional sources of energy. Next thing is, till now you have learned conventional sources. Now, second category, non-conventional. That means which can't be generated again. Now let's see about non-conventional resources. Non-conventional resources. Okay, let's see these non-conventional sources of energy. The increasing use of fossil fuels is leading to its shortage. It is estimated that if the present rate of consumption continues, the reserves of these fuel will get exhausted. That means nothing else, that we are using more and more sources. If we are continuing like this only using unnecessarily, they will be exhausted. They will be over. Moreover, their use also causes environmental pollution. If we are using them more and more means the pollution will be increased. Environmental pollution will arise. Therefore, there is need for using non-conventional sources such as solar energy, wind energy, tidal energy, which are renewable. So, we have to use here these energies. What are they? Examples. Non-conventional sources example, solar energy, wind energy and tidal energy. Tidal energy. Okay, these are the types of energies. These are renewable. Again and again we can produce them. Let's see. First one, solar energy. Okay, solar energy. Sun's heat and light energy can be felt. Sun's heat and light energy can be felt by us every day. Every day, daytime we are observing sun's light and heat. So that is also one type of energy. Solar energy trapped from the sun can be used in solar cells to produce electricity. You know already solar plates. There are so many in our Tenali also, so many are using these solar plates, and with that we are using solar energy. In our Vivekananda Central School also we are using solar energy. On the building there, on the terrace, there are so many solar plates which are grabbing sun's light and heat, and they are converting into solar energy, and we are using for our school purpose. See here they have given picture also. See children, this is solar energy. Okay, like this black plates will be kept fixed on the terraces, and then we will produce energy from these. Okay. Many of these cells are joined into solar panels to generate power for heating and lighting purpose. The technology of utilizing solar energy benefits a lot of tropical countries that are blessed with abundant sunshine. Here tropical countries means the countries which are near equator. Okay, which are near the equator. That means on both sides the equator, those areas they will receive so much heat and light from the sun. So that's why these countries they can adapt and they can produce more and more solar energy. Solar energy is also used in solar heaters, solar cookers, solar dryers, besides being used for community lighting and traffic signals. Already you have observed on Tenali, many traffic lights are arranged on the main road, and there solar plates also fixed. That means daytime those plates, they will grasp the energy, so sun's light and heat, and they will produce energy, and evening the energy will be used by the lights. With the help of those energy, the lights will glow. So here solar heaters, solar cookers, solar dryers, besides for these community lighting and traffic signals. Traffic signals also will go with the use of this solar energy only. So that is about solar energy. Next one is wind energy. Second one is wind energy. So how to produce energy with this wind? Let's see. Wind is an inexhaustible source of energy. Continuously air will come, winds will come. Moving air is called wind. So winds will blow continuously. So here wind is an inexhaustible, never end. There is no end. Never it completes. It's continuous source of energy. Windmills have been used for grinding grain and lifting water since times immemorial. So already you have seen in so many movies and some for an agriculture process, they will use these windmills for, see, one wheel will be there. They will arrange some tanks here. Okay. So when this windmill, when the wind comes, the wheel move and it will take water, and then water will come and we will use this water like this mills for water purpose. Okay, water purpose they have, many are using from olden days. Wind farms having clusters of such windmills are located in coastal regions. In modern time, windmills, the high speed winds rotate the windmill which is connected to a generator to produce electricity. So this is for water purpose, and the windmills, how energy will be produced means, maybe you have seen in hilly areas they will fix fans like this, three, okay. Like these fans will be there, and when these winds comes, these fans will move and they will generate electricity. So here lines will be there, like from one to another, all the windmills are linked with each other and they will produce wind energy with these windmills. On the hilly areas they will fix these. Okay. In modern time, windmills, the high speed winds rotate the windmill which is connected to a generator to produce electricity. So these fans will be connected to a generator to produce electricity. Wind farms having clusters of such windmills are located in coastal regions and in mountain passes where strong and steady winds blow. So on the hilly areas and at the same time coastal areas. Coastal areas means on the sea shores. So much on the sea shores, so much wind will come now. So on those places only also, if they fix windmills means they can produce electricity. Wind farms are found in Netherlands, Germany, Denmark, UK, USA and Spain are noted for their wind energy production. So these are the leading producers of wind energy. Which countries? Netherlands, Germany, Denmark, UK, USA and Spain. Okay, next. Next one is nuclear power. The next one is nuclear power. So this is wind energy. Next, nuclear power I am going to explain. Nuclear power. So with this nuclear power, how to generate electricity? Let's see. Nuclear power is obtained from energy stored in the nuclei of atoms of naturally occurring radioactive elements like uranium and thorium. So here uranium and thorium, these two chemicals, uranium and thorium, these two elements are having, these two are called as radioactive elements. Radioactive elements. That means these have naturally occurring radioactive elements, nuclei of atoms, energy stored in the nuclei of atoms. In these two atom elements, uranium, those atoms, they have already radioactive elements. These fuels undergo nuclear fission in nuclear reactors and emit power. So, if these two elements are kept in a nuclear reactor, okay, in a nuclear reactor, okay, there it happens nuclear fission. That means atoms, both elements, atoms will break and they will form and they will emit power. These fuels undergo nuclear fission in nuclear reactors and emit power. The greatest producers of nuclear power are USA and Europe. In India, Rajasthan and Jharkhand have large deposits of uranium. So, in our India, Rajasthan and Jharkhand, in these two places, we are having uranium deposits. Thorium is found in large quantities in the monazite sands of Kerala. So, thorium is found in Kerala, monazite sands of Kerala. In sands, this thorium is available. The nuclear power stations in India are located in Kalpakkam in Tamil Nadu. So, this nuclear power station is located in Tamil Nadu. What is the place? Kalpakkam. Nuclear power station in Tamil Nadu. Okay. Tarapur in Maharashtra. So, Kalpakkam in Tamil Nadu, Tarapur in Maharashtra, Rana Pratap Sagar near Kota in Rajasthan, Narora in Uttar Pradesh and Kaiga in Karnataka. So, these nuclear power stations in India, they are in 5 places. What are they? Kalpakkam, Tarapur, Rana Pratap Sagar, Narora and Kaiga. In 5 states, these nuclear power stations. Here they have given pictures, children. See this nuclear power station. So, here this is the nuclear reactor. This is the nuclear reactor. Here what they will do? In this nuclear reactor, they will keep uranium and thorium. So, in this uranium and nuclear reactor, these two elements go nuclear reaction. What then they nuclear reactor? Then, so they will emit. Here these atoms, these two elements atoms, they will emit energy, that is heat, air will go from this to this tank. Okay. I will draw picture so that you will understand more easily, children. Wait. I am drawing roughly, don't make fun. So, this is a tank, nuclear reactor. This is nuclear reactor. Here, what they will do? From here, hot water will go. Okay, hot water. This is nuclear reactor. Okay, heat from fission. generator and this is bulb. Okay. Here these are turbines. Heat steam. Okay, children, so here in this nuclear reactor, what they will do? Okay, here uranium, they will keep uranium and thorium elements in this, uranium and thorium. So, as naturally they are having radioactive elements, what they will do? Here, these atoms, and that means the elements, they will diffuse here. They will do fission. That means here, heat will emit. So, this heat, it will go as hot water. That means hot stream like that. This hot water will go from these tanks. So, this heat, this hot water will go to this tank, and here this heat water, it will come into this water, and this vapor, it will go and it will move the turbines. It will move the turbines. So, and these turbines, what they will do? They will make the generator to move, and this generator will produce electricity. So, this electricity is connected to the power stations and the bulbs will glow. So, in this way, that means the uranium and thorium, as they are naturally uranium and thorium, radioactive elements. That's why if these two are fixed, kept in this tank, means their atoms will do chemical action and they will make fission. That means they will emit heat. They will emit heat. That means heat will come after mixing these two chemicals, these elements. The heat will come. They will do chemical reaction and heat will come. This heat, it will go as hot water vapor, and they will go to this tank. This hot water, they will make the turbine, and it is connected to other turbines, and these turbines, with this heat water, turbines will move. The turbines will make the generator to produce electricity, and this is connected. So, this is the way of producing nuclear energy. I hope you understood, children. The remaining part I will explain in the next video. Thank you. Have a nice day.